Welcome back. This is part 2 of how to make a Caribbean Carnival costume. If you missed part 1, I'll link it right up here. That's where I show you how to build the wing and backpack frame out of foam board. Go check that out first so you're caught up before we dive in. So at this point, my wings are fully dry and ready to go. I let them sit for a full 24 hours before touching them again, and I really want you to take that seriously. I know it's tempting to keep going, but you're going to be layering so much onto this frame that every single layer needs time to properly dry before you add the next one. Don't rush it. Trust the process. Now, what you see me doing here is separating my feathers. And this step, do not skip this. Before I placed a single feather on the wings, I needed to figure out exactly how many I was working with and how I wanted to divide them between the front and the back. And honestly, this came down to money, y'all. Feathers are not cheap. I was not about to go crazy gluing everything on and then realized halfway through that I didn't have enough to finish. So I took my time right here, laid everything out, and planned it before committing to anything. Once you know what you're working with, the whole process becomes so much easier. You're not guessing, you have a plan. Now that I've finished separating my feathers, I'm moving on to figuring out the layout for my feather trim. And this right here was a game changer. Instead of covering the entire wing with individual feathers, which would have cost me a lot more money and a lot more time, I'm using feather trim to fill in the larger sections of the wing. It gives you that full, lush look without burning through your feather supply. This is one of those little tricks that makes a huge difference. You get the coverage, you get the volume, and you're doing it in a fraction of the time it would take to place feathers one by one. Let's work smarter, not harder. That's the theme here. All right, so now you're going to see me sorting through my rhinestones. And yes, you're going to keep seeing me glance at my phone throughout this video. I have my inspiration photo pulled up and I'm referring back to it constantly. That is not me getting distracted. That is me staying on track. Now, I will say I am doing this completely freehand. I have a general idea of what I want, but there is no template, no stencil, nothing mapped out, just me, my inspiration picture, and my best judgment. So I'm taking my time with every decision before I commit to anything. So the reason I'm sorting through the gems right now is because I have another trick up my sleeve. Instead of filling more of the wing with individual flowers, I'm going to create a design right in the middle using glitter and rhinestones. This is going to take up space beautifully, add a ton of detail, and honestly, it's going to just make the whole thing look even more custom and intentional. So right now I'm planning out the design, thinking about the shape, how big it needs to be, how it will sit on the wing, and how the gems will be arranged within it. This is the planning stage. Don't rush past this part. Okay, y'all, now it's time to actually start placing the individual feathers. Because we are getting ready to glue, this is where it all starts coming together. I'm so excited. And you're going to keep seeing me grab the feather trim as I'm layering everything out. That's intentional. I need to make sure that the individual feathers are spaced far enough apart so that when the trim meets them, everything connects cleanly. No awkward gaps, no weird empty spots where the two sections come together. The way the feathers and the trim meet each other is really important. If your individual feathers are too close together, the trim won't blend in naturally, too far apart, and you'll have gaps that are hard to fix once everything is glued down. So I'm constantly checking both pieces against each other before anything is permanently placed. All right. We are officially gluing. And I want to talk about why I went with a hot glue gun for this part instead of using tacky glue or the E600 or 6000. Honestly, it came down to practicality. Those other glues are great, but they're really messy and they take a long time to dry. If I had used them for the feathers, I would have been sitting there waiting forever before I could move on to the next layer. The hot glue gun dried fast, it was cleaner to work with, and it kept the momentum going. For this step specifically, it just made more sense. Now, and this is really important, so pay attention. When you're using a hot glue gun on feathers, do not put the glue directly on the feather part itself. Put the glue on the base, the quill, the very bottom part. If you get hot glue gun on the actual feather, it will melt it or like make the feathers clump and stick together, and you will not be able to separate them. It will ruin the look completely, base only, every single time. So you're watching me finish up the first layer here. And the moment it's done, I go straight into the next one. No waiting, no second guessing, just keep going. That's the beauty of the hot glue gun. It's dry and ready almost immediately, so you can just keep building. Now, I do have to be honest with you. I used a lot of glue sticks, like a lot. I probably should have had a bigger hot glue gun for this project size, but this is what I had at home, so we made it work. If you're planning to do this, do yourself a favor and grab the larger size gun. I have one link, and stock up on extra glue sticks before you start. I also have some of those linked. You will go through them faster than you think. But even with a smaller gun, you can see how the layers are starting to build up and fill in. Each layer adds more volume, more depth, more dimension. This is exactly why the planning stage mattered, because now that we're gluing, everything is falling right into place. Just keep layering, keep checking your spacing, and keep going. You're going to be amazed at how quickly this thing starts to transform in front of you. So now you're seeing me add more ostrich feathers, and this is where I really start mixing the blue and the orange together. And I want to be clear, there was no strict rule book for this part. I was just going by what looked good to me, holding pieces up, stepping back, adjusting. If something didn't feel right, I moved it until it did. Trust your eye during this stage. Now, the placement of the ostrich feathers at the bottom was a very intentional decision and not just an aesthetic one. I'm going to be wearing a swimsuit with this costume, so having the ostrich feathers sit along the bottom means they're going to give me coverage while I'm wearing it. Functional and fabulous. That's what we're going for. So if you're building something similar and you're thinking about what you're actually going to be wearing underneath, plan your feather placement around that. It makes a difference and you'll thank yourself later. Now, I know some of you are wondering about the hot glue gun situation. Yes, I burned myself multiple times. I would love to tell you there's a way around it, but honestly, that hot glue gun does not care about your fingers. It will get you. Just, figure it out. Keep going and just accept that it's part of the process. You might be able to buy like one of those gloves online that the girls use when they're using their curling wands, but I don't know. But even with the battle wounds, look at how this is coming together. The layers are building up, the colors are blending beautifully, and the shape of the wing is really starting to show itself now. Every layer you add makes it look more and more like the real thing. So here you'll see me grabbing the feather trim again and checking my spacing one more time. And honestly, I think at this point, I was also just mentally preparing myself to move on to the next step. Sometimes you just need a second before you keep going. So the next thing I'm doing is working on the smaller feathers. And I made a decision here that I really loved. I added gold glitter to the tips of the blue ones. The reason for that was to create a separation between the small feathers and the large ostrich feathers, just a pop of something different to break it up and make the details stand out. I just kept repeating this until I had enough prepared, then set them all aside to dry. And for this part, I switched to tacky glue instead of the hot glue gun because, as we already established, hot glue and feathers are not always friends. It would have melted them. So tacky glue it is, which means a little bit more patience while they dry, but it's worth it. Okay, so while those feathers are drying, we're not sitting around waiting, we're switching gears. This is how I kept the 2 week timeline moving. Whenever one thing was drying, I was working on something else, always be doing something. So now I'm starting on the middle design. This is the glitter and rhinestone section we talked about earlier. The first thing I do is lay out the trim and the shape and width I want the design to be. Take your time here because this is the centerpiece of the whole thing. Once I was happy with the layout, I took my tacky glue and filled in the center, right inside the trim, and be generous with it. Don't be shy. I then took a plastic knife and spread it out as evenly as I could across the whole middle surface. Then comes the gold glitter. Pour it right over the glue, make sure everything is covered, then shake off the excess. After that, I checked for any gaps, went back in with more glue and more glitter wherever I needed it, and shook off the excess again. Repeat until you're satisfied. Now, I grabbed the feather trim and placed it along the edge of the glitter design just to see what space I'm still working with between the design and the ostrich feathers. And I can already see that I have room to fill in, which means it's time to start thinking about the smaller feathers. These smaller feathers are going to require even more strategy than the ostrich feathers did. They're smaller, they take up less space, which means I'm going to need more of them, and every single placement decision matters more. All right. The first layer of smaller feathers is done and it's already looking good. I'm so excited. Now it's time to bring in the ones I prepped earlier, the feathers with the gold glitter tips. They've had enough time to dry, so we are ready to go. Now, can we talk about my glue gun for a second? The smaller gun started jamming on me at this point, and it was completely my fault. I was moving too fast and not giving the glue enough time to actually melt before I was trying to push more through, so it just kept getting stuck, which brings me back to what I said earlier. Please get the bigger glue gun. I am telling you from experience and from frustration, the bigger gun melts faster, it keeps up with your pace, and it's not going to hold you hostage in the middle of your project. Once the second layer is finished, I grab the trim again to check my spacing. This is something you're going to see me do over and over, and I want you to pick up on that habit too. Never just glue and hope for the best. Always check before you commit. Now I'm going into the third layer and I'm alternating the colors, mixing them up to give that finished look a rich, layered, intentional feel. It keeps the eye moving across the whole wing instead of getting stuck in one spot. But before I glue anything down, I grab the trim one more time and start adjusting. With the trim actually sitting in place, I can see exactly how the small feathers are going to interact with it. What needs to shift, what needs to be closer, what needs more space. This is the moment to fix it because once the glue is down, that decision is made. Take your time right here. A few extra minutes of adjusting before you glue saves you a headache trying to fix it later. So remember when I said take your time before you glue? Yeah, I did not fully take my own advice here. I got a little ahead of myself and glued down some of the smaller feathers before really checking them with the trim in place. And the moment I laid the trim back down, I could see the problem immediately. There was a gap in one area that the smaller feathers just were not going to be able to fill properly, no matter how I arranged them. So I had to pivot. I put the smaller feathers down and grabbed some of the ostrich feathers to come in and take up that space instead. And honestly, once I made that swap, it worked out perfectly. Sometimes the project tells you what it needs and you just have to listen. After I fixed that section, I got back to gluing down the smaller feathers, but this time I was even more careful. Every single feather I placed, I was grabbing the trim and checking it before moving on to the next one, over and over again. Place, check, adjust, glue. That was the process. So I repeated everything you just saw on the left side over on the right. Same process, same checking, same patience, and now both sides are done and it's time to glue down the trim. Hooray! I'm using the hot glue gun for this part. I started on the left side and as I'm gluing, I'm pulling the trim taut. as I go. This is important. You don't want any extra fabric bunching up or bulking along the edge, and you definitely don't want a gap between the trim and the board. It needs to lay flat and sit flush the whole way across. So I'm taking my time here. There is absolutely no sense in rushing at this stage. We've come too far and I've put in too much work to get sloppy right now. Slow, steady, and taut. That's it. Once the trim is fully glued down, I cut off the excess and clean up the edges. Now it's time for the rhinestones to finish off the middle design. Now, the design I had planned out earlier in the video, I looked at it and I just wasn't feeling it anymore, so I scrapped it and started placing rhinestones to figure out something I actually like better. And once I had a general idea, I just went for it. I started with tacky glue for this part and I quickly decided that was not going to work for me. So I switched to the hot glue gun. Sometimes you just have to try it to know. I placed the rhinestones along the inner edge and the trim to give the whole design a clean finished look. And then in the center, I just put my first initial. And I have to say, I could not believe how cute this came out. Like I genuinely had a moment standing there and looking at it. So now we let this dry and go work on something else. I'll see you in part 3 where we flip everything over and get to work on the back side, the side that will actually be sitting against my back. Let me know what you think so far in the comments. Bye.